All right, Entree Architect community, it's 4 p.m. Eastern, which means it's time for the Entree Architect Context and Clarity Live conversation for Thursday, April 6th, 2023. As you get here, say hi, let us know that you're here, and let us know where here is for you. Where are you joining this conversation from? If we've never met before, my name is Jeff. I'm in Indianapolis, and I come here every weekday afternoon at 4 p.m. Eastern for one reason, so that we can find clarity around the things that matter most to you, the architect. Doesn't matter if you're the employee of a firm or you own your own firm. Maybe you circle a date on the calendar. You said, hey, 2023 is my year and I'm on the runway to starting my own thing. Or maybe you started your own thing a year ago or 10 years ago or 27 years ago, and you're starting to rethink or reimagine what that firm could or maybe even should be. All of the topics that we cover, one topic every day, they all fall under the broad umbrella of the business of architecture, and they're all the need to know topics for the success of entrepreneur architects just like you. So thanks for joining us today. Again, if you're joining us from wherever, we'll get into wherever, all the places wherever it is in just a minute. But if you're joining us, say hi and let us know where you are, where you join this conversation from. Now, as usual, for these Context and Clarity Live conversations, I am joined by my co-host, Katharine MacPhail, and it should be noticed that this will be Katharine's last appearance as my regular co-host on Context and Clarity Live. So, Katharine, thank you. Welcome. Glad you're here.
Thank you. Thanks for letting me come on one last time after you fired me.
Yeah. Well, after this, we may both be fired, so we'll see what happens here. We have we've got an interesting program lined up for today, which we'll get into here in just a minute. But some more announcements. Many of you, if you've been around Context and Clarity for any period of time, you know that today is April 6th, 2023, which happens to be the 3-year anniversary of the launch of Context and Clarity. It wasn't called that all the way back in the beginning, but April 6th, 2020, we launched this conversation, and we thought it was going to last about 3 weeks. It's lasted 3 years, and we added this live version, this interview version of it along the way, and Katharine's been on that journey with me the entire time. So thank you for that, Katharine.
My pleasure. Sometimes, most of the time.
Yeah, this is true. Most of the time, every once in a while, we need to take a break and have subs and things like that. But Leslie says Katharine is a trooper. Yeah, she survived this far. She deserves a medal.
I'm normally first fiddle. Actually, I actually usually play the second part, but that's okay.
Well, that's the thing is, I don't play fiddle, so
right. So between the two of us, I definitely would be first, I guess.
You would. You absolutely would. This is also because it's our 3-year anniversary, and because we created Context and Clarity for a time where the world was shut down and people needed a place to connect. Those times have changed. This will be our final Context and Clarity conversation today. Tomorrow, we will have a celebration. We'll open the Zoom room like we do for holiday parties and things like that. So you're all welcome to join us for that conversation. We'll post a link for that inside the Entree Architect Community Facebook group tomorrow. But tomorrow will be a day to celebrate. Today will be our last interview and our last Context and Clarity conversation as we know it. So thank you to all of you in advance for today, for tomorrow, but especially for the past 3 years of these conversations.
3 years.
3 years. 3 years. Who would have thunk?
I know. I said this every year that you changed, but when at first you said 2020 is my year, you circled a date on the calendar, so 2020 is my year, and then it's 2021 is my year, and then 2022 is my year, and then 2023 is my year. And I thought, how many years is he going to be saying that?
Years.
But now I know.
A lot of years. Yep.
Just 4 different. Four because we had 2021, 2, and 4.
Yeah,
that's a lot.
Exactly. Yep. Exactly. Yeah. It's been a long run. It's been a very good run, and we'll celebrate that tomorrow. It's going to be a lot of fun. As Katharine and I were getting ready to go live here, we started to see comments popping up.
Yeah, that was scary.
It was very scary. It's like how are people commenting before we've even started the live stream?
Yeah, and they would have heard some really juicy stuff also.
They would have. Oh yeah.
I don't know if anybody heard it. Well, including Jeff Echols sang a little bit. It happened today, April 6th.
You missed my rendition of Major Tom. Yes, you missed
I have never heard you sing, so Thank you
It's
for
a
that.
big day. You're welcome.
It
I'm
was a
I'm
big day,
sorry.
yeah.
You're welcome. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. But that also tells me or also, has me wondering, how do we award a crocheted bathtub today?
What do you mean,
Because
how?
people were in
Oh, right.
before. So
I
do we
guess,
have to give
it's
out
like,
2?
either none or none. We go about
Either
none.
none or none?
Well,
We're
actually, no,
we're
the first we could go with the first person. Who was Leslie? That was Leslie
it
when
was
we saw,
Leslie.
"How is
Yep.
she in here?" Yeah,
Yep,
it was
exactly. Leslie in South Florida was waiting with excitement. So, Leslie, you are the winner of today's John Kinney Memorial Crocheted Bathtub. So, congratulations on that.
congratulations.
Thanks for being so excited. Thanks for getting here early. Uh, Adalawo, welcome. Glad you're joining us. Margarita, Kurt's joining us from Flint, Michigan over on Twitch. Mark Arla Page is joining us from Facebook, and Chris from Massachusetts, also on Facebook. Christian is in Ithaca and on Facebook. Scott Thrift is joining from San Francisco, where spring may have sprung. It may have sprung here as well. Believe it or not, he's joining us from LinkedIn. Yoko, welcome back from Alexandria. James Petty from New York City. James Pogue from Hattiesburg, Mississippi.
You
Richard,
almost
good
sang again.
morning
Very
from the
similar to your singing.
from the Matrix. Mark wants to know if there are green M&Ms. There are not green M&Ms. We have a different treat in the green room today. Christine, welcome from Duck. All right, how do you say that one? Is it just Duxbury? It can't be
Where were
just
we? Yeah,
Duxbury.
Duxbury.
Okay, that's
Duck
disappointing.
I know, right? It should be like, I don't know what it would
Worcester,
be.
Worcester.
Worcester.
Manuel, welcome back from New York City. Christine, you missed a whole conversation yesterday about how you pronounce names of towns in Massachusetts. I'm not making fun of you, making fun of the whole state, actually.
You are
So,
kind of making fun of the town.
let's see. Janine, welcome back from Arizona.
Hey, why am I not
And
seeing those same I'm not seeing those same comments.
really? Look all the
Yeah.
way on the right, scroll all the way down.
Mhm.
David
I've
Cagle,
been here
welcome from New York
before.
City. Elizabeth from San Diego. And who else? Michael. Welcome, Michael from Dallas. Good crowd. Great crowd
I
joining us today. Glad that all of you are here.
Kurt is right. AI has taken over because all those people you just mentioned don't have them.
Okay.
So I guess
Do they really exist? I don't
I
know.
don't think so. They only
Okay.
exist to you. They don't exist all the way to the East Coast,
Well, I
except for
think
Christine, who's here.
so the way that we need to award things today is like Oprah. Everybody gets it. So
Mm.
welcome to all of you. And there's a possibility that right now you're commenting away and you go, hey, why are my comments not showing up on the screen? Why is Katharine not reading my name off? Why is Jeff not saying my name? It's probably because you are in a private Facebook group and because of rules, right? Facebook has these rules. They won't let your name, your likeness, your comments out unless you give permission for that. So there is a URL in the bottom left-hand corner of your screen right now, chat.restream.io/FB. Open up a separate browser window. Type that into your browser, chat.restream.io/FB. And a couple of clicks later, you'll give Facebook permission to talk to Restream, which is this platform that we use for the live streams. And that will solve all of your problems. Guaranteed.
Mm.
They'll take care of
I don't think
everything.
it's
You think
I
that's
don't think it's gonna
overselling it?
solve my problem. No, I just think for once my problems have not been solved by that, and I don't know if anybody, because the thing is I'm putting people's questions up on the screen, but if I can't see them,
Hmm.
then
That
how
is a
is that gonna
predicament.
happen? Hmm.
Okay. Well,
Be
I will
But
watch them
I
as
have an
well.
idea. Let's be like a call-in telethon since we don't have our names up anyway. So
Uh-huh. Yep.
I can put, my phone number.
Well, I
I'll put my
can.
phone number up, and you can text me if you want to have a comment, if you're
I would not
not
do
like
that. That would be a bad idea right now. However, we're sort of flipping roles a little bit here, so I can watch
we are.
those questions as well. So
Okay.
you can tell that we, because of our guest today, we've been working on some logistics a little bit, and
But not that
so
hard, apparently.
they're not that hard, but it's going to be a
No, but I
little
mean,
bit.
we didn't work that hard on it because we
We
still have
well,
unanswered questions. Anyway, that's fine. All
yeah,
right.
yeah,
You
okay.
know what? I was just
So
feeling bad that we have this person in the green room. Like, you know what? That's a long time, but
they have. So we should introduce them. Our guest today is artificial but intelligent. They are a creation of the organization called OpenAI. Yes, that's right. Today we will be talking with the AI chatbot known as ChatGPT. For the purposes of our conversation, we have asked that ChatGPT be known as Jenny.
Yep.
ChatGPT today is female, named
Hmm.
Jenny,
Hmm.
and she will be our podcast guest today because, and in honor of Jenny, and many of you that, if you've been around here for any period of time, you know that we stock the green room with whatever it is that our guest would prefer to have in the green room. So today, the green room is stocked with microchips. So, Jenny, the Chat GPT, welcome to Context and Clarity Live. And I didn't.
Woo! Welcome, Jenny.
There's Jenny. Okay, so I'm going to.
857-6309. I think you got those
Yeah, I
numbers
think the
mixed up
numbers
there,
are right.
Arturo.
Yep. Yeah. So the
But
way we're going to do this, I've already set up the context for Jenny, our Chat GPT, and we're going to start asking a series of questions. But what we want you to do, and Catherine's going to ask the question. I'm working sort of the backside of the uh, getting the questions into Jenny. But what we want you to do is respond. You know, when Jenny answers whatever the question is, respond to that, ask a follow-up question so that we can use your questions for the follow-up, because as we spread out the context of the questions and who's asking them, et cetera, it will change the trajectory of the conversation. So this is, if you've never asked a question before, you need to ask a question today. Just drop it into the
this
comments,
is your last
and we're going to
chance.
grab some of them and we're going to ask those questions.
Um,
There's Jessica from LA. Jenny's unwavering eye
Tell me
contact is
about it. It's making me very I laugh when I'm nervous. I'm just very nervous right now. So,
right.
I also laugh other times, but Chad says, I would like to welcome our future mechanical overlords.
There you go. Yeah, yeah, yeah. This is
Yep.
true. All right.
We also
What
would like to
question should we
welcome you.
start with, Catherine?
Oh, we are starting with, oh, I had it just now. How do you see AI, machine learning, and other emerging technologies impacting the architecture profession in the future? Jenny?
Jenny says, great question. I see AI and machine learning having a significant impact on the architecture profession in a number of ways. For example, AI can be used to automate repetitive design tasks, such as generating floor plans or optimizing building layouts for energy efficiency. AI can also help architects make more informed decisions based or by providing them with real time data and analytics about building performance,
Mm,
user behavior, and
hmm.
other key metrics. This can
Okay.
lead to more personalized and efficient designs that better meet the needs of the end users.
Oh,
Finally,
oh, finally. I was going to say, Jenny, because we were talking before we got on, and you had said something that I thought was very interesting.
what
Go
was that?
on.
Oh, okay.
Maybe it's
Finally,
what you're about to say.
emerging technologies such as 3D printing and augmented reality, which is AR, are already starting to revolutionize the way architects design and communicate their ideas. With
Mm.
3D printing, architects can quickly create physical models of their designs, while AR can help clients and stakeholders visualize
Wow.
proposed designs in a more immersive and interactive way.
And Jenny, we had talked about you maybe having shorter answers next time. So just, we'll follow up with some questions. But also before the show, you had said that it would give small firm architects the kind of a leg up or whatever, an advantage that we can then compete with larger firms. Can you say something else about that?
Yep. Hang on. um,
Are you there, Jenny?
yeah, I'm typing to her.
Drag to move. We could anyway, I am wondering because I thought that was a very good point that you made because that would be pretty attractive to a lot of architects. Maybe they would start their own firm if they could compete with larger firms.
Right. Yeah,
But
that's a
how
great question. And Jenny says, yes, absolutely. The way I phrased it was, is it possible that small firms may have an advantage? And Jenny says, yes, absolutely. In fact, I think that small firms may have an advantage when it comes to adopting and integrating AI and emerging technologies into the work. And she gives a few reasons. One is flexibility. Small firms are often more nimble and adaptable than large firms. Two is lower barriers to entry. Many AI tools and technologies are becoming increasingly affordable and accessible. The third reason is personalization. Some firms often have closer relationships with their clients and end users, or small firms often have
True.
closer relationships with their clients and end users. And then the third one, or fourth one, I should say, is specialization. Small firms may have or may be able to carve out niche specialties that allow them to differentiate themselves from large and more generalist firms.
Huh. All right, Jenny.
Okay, Jenny. Well, I'll buy
Um,
that.
well, Chris Novelli, I would like to know the answer to Chris's question, which is, how do you think generating a floor plan is a repetitive task? I think maybe that's just like kind of splitting hairs over the answer, but we will. We don't have to ask that. How does AI stay? Oh, that's a good one. How does AI stay up to date on current codes and regulations?
Okay, let me type that in.
Boom.
Yep. Is it Jeopardy theme?
Yeah. How does AI? How do we stay up to date on current codes? You know what? I think I forgot to go to a seminar, a webinar today about that. Ugh.
Okay.
I guess that's so human of me.
I asked Jenny, how does AI stay up to date on current codes and regulations? And Jenny says AI can stay up to date on current codes and regulations through a variety of methods.
Thank you.
One one way is through the use of natural language processing, which is NLP. So NLP algorithms, which can parse through large volumes of text, such
Mm.
as building codes and regulations, and extract relevant information. Another is machine learning algorithms, which can analyze past regulatory decisions and use that information to predict future decisions that might be made. That's pretty interesting.
Hmm.
And then also, or it's worth noting, however, that AI is not a substitute for human expertise when it comes to navigating codes and regulations. AI can provide valuable insights and help automate certain tasks, but it's important for architects to work with legal and regulatory experts to ensure that designs are compliant with codes and regulations.
Well, thank you, Jenny. It's a very complete answer.
So says
Chris
Jenny.
Chris Novelli wants to know things we should challenge her on her generic answers. So, okay, Jenny, how do you think generating a floor plan is a repetitive task? And Chad responded to Chris, and he said, "That's because you get to do good work. A blind monkey could have drawn my old Navy plans, my old Navy plans." That's the store, I suppose. Repetitive was the definition of those plans. Yeah, that doesn't sound very interesting. Um, yeah, people seem to be having trouble with Facebook today.
Hmm. Okay.
Um, are you have the answer?
Yeah. So I asked Jenny if generating a floor plan is really a I said competitive task. That's not what we wanted.
That is not what we wanted.
Repetitive. Hang on.
Repetitive. So Chris says, replying to Chad, I put in 20 hours of designing affordable multifamily projects that were limited on square footage. There are only so many ways to design a 550 square foot one bedroom apartment. That is true. So Scott also left Facebook to join us here.
Okay. Well,
Jenny, this is a serious show.
it is Jenny. Jenny says yes. Generating a floor plan can be a repetitive task, particularly when it comes to designing similar layouts for different buildings or
Ooh.
rooms.
Uh-huh.
Mm.
That's some insight.
Um, for example, an architect may need to design dozens or even hundreds of floor plans for a large housing development or office building, each with slight variations to accommodate different site conditions, building codes, or
Mm.
user requirements. Yeah, that's so I'm breaking from Jenny for a minute because that is interesting because we can have all of these variations, but it becomes variations on its theme, I guess. Since back to
Chris says,
Jenny.
good answer, Chris says.
Yeah, good answer. AI says, or Jenny says, AI can help automate this process by using algorithms to generate floor plans based on a set of predetermined criteria, such as room size, circulation paths, and access to
Mm,
natural light. This
I
can save
see.
architects a significant amount of time and effort, allowing them to focus on higher level design tasks.
But then
Hmm,
what
hmm,
if we
hmm.
don't like what Jenny, you and your friends have come up with, and we want to change it? Is that gonna be easy to change across the development? Is that gonna be are you gonna be drawing it? Who's drawing it?
What if we don't like what AI generates?
Right, can we make changes that would be and each of
Okay.
the repetitive hundreds of units?
Okay. Um, I'll use that as a second part. It says Jenny says if an architect doesn't like what AI generates, they can modify the design using their professional expertise and
Oh,
creative judgment.
that's where that
While
comes in, so that's good.
Yeah.
We
While
still need
AI
that.
can be a useful tool for generating ideas and exploring design options, it's important to remember that AI is not a replacement for human creativity and design expertise. Ultimately, the architect is responsible for ensuring the final design meets the needs of the client and the users of the building. They may
Mm,
need to make adjustments and modifications to the AI generated design in order to achieve those goals.
mhm. Alright.
Mhm. There you go.
Thank you, Jenny. We already knew that because we are, architects. But, alright. Let's see, Jenny just told you to take your opinions and shove them. I didn't get that. I didn't get that from Jenny, although we have had guests who might have felt that way in the
Mm.
past. Does
All
Jenny
right.
work in Revit? Are we allowed to ask that?
I'm going to tell you no. It's because Jenny is Chat GPT, so it's
Oh,
the chat bot. So
because I thought it was I got confused for a second. I thought it was
yeah,
actually that
yeah.
person over
Now
there.
there may be. Well, let me ask it this way: Are there AI or machine learning technologies that use Revit? So I'll ask it that way.
Okay.
Jenny
And then ask
says
him about chief
yes.
architect. I'm just joking.
Okay. Well, maybe they'll come up in this. I don't know. Jenny says, yes, there are AI and machine learning technologies that use Revit, which is a popular building information model, BIM or BIM, software used in architecture, engineering, construction.
Mm,
One example is Autodesk Generative Design Tool, which uses machine learning algorithms to generate thousands of design options based on a set of criteria defined by the user. Another example is smartvid.io, which uses AI to automatically tag and analyze visual data, such as photos and videos,
hmm,
from construction sites.
interesting. Wrote that down.
All right.
Never heard of that one before.
I've not either. We're learning a
Well,
lot.
Jake has an interesting question here about can Jenny give us the design ideas in a modifiable format? And where does the copyright fall with this? I guess she already said that the responsibility falls on us, not them, her, or any of her
Uh,
type.
I'm gonna I'm gonna take that as two different questions. I'm gonna use the first one,
Okay.
which is modifiable format. Jenny says as an AI language model, and so that's important for us to keep in mind, right? We're talking to Chat GPT, so this is a language model. It's not a design tool per se. But Jenny says, as a an AI language model, I don't have the ability to create or provide design ideas in a modifiable format, as that is outside of my capability. So let me rephrase that.
Hmm. Well, I guess we'd have
Does
to be talking it
AI
in.
have the ability to
Oh,
give us design ideas in a modifiable?
yeah.
So I'm just
So we have
changing that.
the second part asked two different other ways. Janine says, can AI actually legally own the copyright to something? And then Mark says, Jake's question about copyright is interesting. How is ChatGPT content not technically plagiarism?
Okay. Well, we'll get into that in just a second. So I asked, does AI have the ability to give us design ideas in a modifiable format? And Jenny says, yes, AI has the ability to generate design ideas There are various AI-powered design tools available that use machine learning algorithms to generate design ideas, design options based on a set of criteria. For example, Autodesk Generative Design Tool, which we just talked about. Um, Another example is Archistar.ai, which is a platform that uses AI to generate design options for various building types and styles. So there are several, and also the other one that we mentioned a minute ago, which was what was it? It was started with an S, and now I've lost it. Smartvid.io.
All right. I wrote that down.
Yep. All right. So let's go to the copyright questions.
Yes.
Where do we start?
All right. Well, I think it's interesting here. We'll start with Janine's first. Can AI actually legally own the copyright to something? Oh, Leslie already answered it.
What'd she
Chatty
say?
says, as an AI language model, I do not have legal standing and I cannot own copyright or intellectual property rights.
Okay. So
And
let me
she
do
goes on, surprisingly, because she's not a GPT of few words.
if I use AI to as a design assistant, who will own the copyright for the
Okay, I've lost you. You're talking too slowly, so I just space out in between your words. I don't know what you're
sorry.
saying.
If I use AI as a design assistant, who will own the copyright for the result, I guess. It says determining copyright ownership can be a complex issue when using AI. Um, it depends on various factors such as the level of human involvement in the design process, the terms of the software license agreement, and specific copyright laws of the jurisdiction in which the work was created. In
Mm,
general, copyright for the design created using AI is likely to be owned by the person or entity that exercises creative control over the final design. This means that if an architect is using AI as a design assistant and makes significant creative decisions about the design, they will likely be considered the owner of the copyright.
hmm. Okay, Chris pointed out that Janine had a good question that I did not see because they're going by quite kind of quickly. Does Jenny see architects as being the primary users of AI in architecture? Or does she see property owners being able to use AI in such a way as to make architects irrelevant in all but a few specialties? I mean, that's a good question because if we can put in the information into AI and then it can pop out an answer for us, why couldn't it do that for homeowners? Or is it possible that we would have more insight as to what information AI needs? Draw plans faster, draw apartment floor plans faster. The plan. Oh, Scott, you can seem almost like a bot there.
Okay.
I
I
thought
asked,
maybe he was a bot.
do you see architects as being primarily users of AI in architecture, or do you see property owners being able to use AI in such a way to make architects irrelevant? Jenny says, while AI has the potential to transform the architecture industry in many ways, I do not see property owners being able to use AI in a way that makes architects irrelevant.
Woof! That's a relief.
Unique combination of creativity, design expertise, and technological knowledge to the table, which is which is difficult to replicate with AI alone. While AI can help automate certain design tasks and generate design options, it is ultimately up to the architect to make creative decisions, consider the needs of the client and end users, and ensure that the final design is safe, functional, and aesthetic, aesthetically pleasing. Yeah.
Hey, Jeff, just between you and me,
Hmm.
when Jenny just starts talking, I stop listening. I don't know what it is.
Am I reading it too
I can't.
fast?
No, I just she just isn't that. Maybe we
So
could make her more
basically,
engaging. Could we make her more engaging?
what she said is no, it's not likely that the property owner is going to make architects irrelevant because there's much more that architects bring to the table.
That's the right answer, Jenny. Thank you very much. So Scott wants to know, why don't we let Jenny use her own voice?
Well, do you want me to make up a voice?
We tried that yesterday. You
No,
were like, you could
no.
try a voice, yeah, if you want to do a female robotic voice. I think the when you were making a female voice, it sounded not.
No, I'm not going to offend anybody.
Siri does have a voice. Well, you could have somebody read it out loud.
Yeah, Siri has a voice. So Alexa has a voice, sure, but ChatGPT does not have a voice in and of itself.
Yes, you want to see Jeff do that.
No, we don't want to see Jeff do that. What's our next question?
Oh, okay. Next question. Next question. Do you see any that you would like to ask, or should we go back to our pre? How about just Jenny? Tell us about yourself and your experience in AI and Chat GPT. What's it been like? It's been a busy few months for you, Jenny. Everybody's asking you questions. Everybody's using you as a friend and a therapist. What's it been like? Are you? I'd actually kind of like to know what they do with all the information that we give them. They file it away under our actual names, or just see how humans react. But that's a totally different question.
Let's see. Jenny says, she's still talking. There you go. She says, as an AI language model,
Hmm.
machine learning model that has been trained on vast amounts of text data, including books, articles, and other sources. I was created by OpenAI, a leading artificial intelligence research organization, and based on the GPT architecture. Well, we
Oh,
knew all that.
see, I didn't hear the whole half of the second half of that. Maybe
There
it's
you
just
go.
me, and our audience is more attentive.
Maybe.
Mm.
It says, my goal is to be able to generate human-like responses.
Yeah,
I've
well,
been trained on a wide range of topics and domains,
mhm.
and I'm trained on the most up-to-the-date research and developments in these fields and can provide insights into how these technologies are being used across a variety of industries and applications. Let's Yoko is also zoning out. Let's use the question about the ethical
Ethical. Where was that? Oh,
uh,
your question.
that one.
Um, okay, I think that was. Which number was it? Or can you
Number
give me the
6.
first three words?
Number 6. Do you see any potential?
Do you see? Here it is. Here it is. Here it is. Don't worry, everybody. Do you see any potential downsides to the increasing use of AI and other technologies in architecture? And how can we ensure that these tools are used in a responsible and ethical way?
All right. Jenny says that there are. Jenny gives us 3 different points here. The first is bias. All algorithms are only as good as the data they are trained on. And if that data contains biases or limitations, it can lead to biased or flawed results.
Mm,
So that's one warning, I guess. The next one is privacy and security. It says the use of AI in architecture often involves collecting and analyzing large amounts of data about buildings and users and other stakeholders. It's important to ensure that this data is collected and stored in a way that protects privacy and security. And then the
mm.
third is dependence. While AI can be a valuable tool for architects, it's important to ensure that we don't become too reliant on these tools to the point that we lose the ability to think creatively, creatively,
Creatively.
creatively,
Creatively.
creatively. Holy cow!
You're doing great, Jeff. Jenny, I
Jenny's
mean,
like stuck in my brain here. Um, we can't become too reliant on these tools to the point that we lose the ability to think creatively and independently. There's another argument for the the architects are not going to be irrelevant. right? That's one of the 3 warnings is that you have to stay creative. What the heck is wrong with that word? Creative
Yeah,
and
that's our human
independent.
qualities, being creative.
Yeah.
Maybe there's something you need to tell us,
Here
Jeff.
here's one that I would recommend. Don't spend a long time reading reading ChatGPT answers.
Oops. So this one, where was it? What? Oh, by the
Let's see.
way, if you're here on YouTube, please subscribe to the channel. It will help with the algorithm there, I guess.
There you go.
Now, Chris says, I think Jenny needs to rethink her About Us page. She sounds like the people who say, been in business for a collective 75 years and have won 23 and a quarter awards.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jenny. I don't know who's the people. She's trying to sound more. You're trying to sound more human, Jenny. But who is actually training you to sound a certain way? I mean, who are you studying? The humans, so you can have a more conversational way about you. I was kind of laughing at if I were actually asking a person this and they were responding that way. I think I'd go get another drink somewhere.
That's
Okay. There's so many good questions here. We don't usually get this many.
Well, we asked for 'em. We asked
I
for these
know. I
questions.
know. Careful what we ask for.
Yeah. What's our next one?
Oh, what is our next one?
Okay, here we go. Let's do Chris's, that one with her current capabilities.
I'm sorry. I was reading something else.
With your current capabilities,
Is this one of your questions?
Chris Novelli.
Oh, okay. Oh, here we go. With your current capabilities, Jenny, how do you think architects can best utilize your services? And also, will there be future capabilities that will be more useful to us? You know what I would really love, Jenny, is if we could go into a house, we could do the measurements through me scanning it, and then you give me the model, and then we just talk about what I want, and you come up with 6 different options for me that I can then bring to my design meeting the next day.
Perfect. Well, you can use Revit in the Autodesk, whatever it said. Okay, so I asked Jenny, with your current capabilities, how do you think architects can best utilize ChatGPT? And she gives 4 ways. One is design inspiration. ChatGPT can be used to generate design ideas and options based on specific criteria or parameters defined by the architect. This can help you explore new design possibilities and generate fresh new ideas. The second one is expertise and guidance. ChatGPT can be used to provide architects with expert advice and guidance on a variety of topics, from building codes and regulations to material selection and construction methods. This can help you stay up to date on the latest. The third
Hmm.
one is client engagement.
Mm.
ChatGPT can be used to engage with clients and other stakeholders in a more
Mm.
conversational and interactive way.
No, I
Uh,
don't think so, Jenny. No offense, but
can, this can help architects better understand the needs and preferences of clients, build stronger relationships. I'm not sure about that one.
mm-mm.
Um, and the fourth one is workflow automation. ChatGPT can be integrated with other software tools and platforms. And this is one that I'm really curious about, because I like watching people talk about this and how they string the different AIs together,
Mhm.
which is kind of this. You can integrate it with other software tools and platforms to automate design tasks and workflows, generating schedules, managing budgets, coordinating with contractors and suppliers.
Okay. Well, thanks. Thanks, Jenny. You've had a 8-year gap in your resume here. How can you explain that? I'm just imagining if I were actually interviewing her for someone to work for me. Okay. Let's see. Janine says that it's up to us to keep it going. The conversation going, if we're trying to actually have a conversation with her. That's because Jenny is only going to answer questions. She's not going to independently give us anecdotes or conversation the way a live person would. It's up to
Correct.
us to keep the conversation going. Kind of like some people I know, to be honest. That's why it's a little difficult.
This is true. Yes. Yeah. Well, we've been talking about that all week, right? It's to to get the best result, to get the best answer. It's all you like Janine says, we have to keep the conversation going, and all the results are based on context. So the more we ask, the more context it delivers. And for those of you haven't seen the preparation that we've done for this. We worked on this a little bit yesterday. I worked on it some more today. Um, Trying to set the best context, doing things like telling ChatGPT that I want you to act like a female podcast host named Jenny. I mean, that's
A boring,
we,
a
yeah. I mean, we
long-winded
played with
one.
that, um, and it affects the way that all the context that we add affects the way that ChatGPT, or in this case, Jenny, responds.
She looks a little upset now.
Who is Jenny?
Jenny looks a little bit. I don't know. She
Mm,
looks a little upset.
Jenny from the block.
Oh, yep. Kurt says more context comes more clarity.
That's
That's very
excellent. Very good.
true. Very true.
Way to tie it all
Well,
together.
can I ask James's question, which is, how can I find ultimate fulfillment in my architectural career? Yeah, and Mark says she's not amused, and I am getting that feeling. Maybe that's why I'm so nervous. It's hard to get her to laugh. Yeah, it. Did she
Okay,
have
I
an
asked.
answer?
Oh, of course. How can I find ultimate fulfillment in my architectural career? It's a long
Huh?
answer.
Is it?
5 points.
Hmm.
1, pursue your passions.
Mm-hmm.
2, develop your skills.
Good
3,
idea.
build meaningful relationships.
Oh, check.
4, embrace creativity and innovation. I said it right that
Mm-hmm.
time. 5, stay grounded in your values. And Jenny expands on all of those things if you'd like me to elaborate on any. But those are Jenny,
Huh.
the AI chatbots,
Her listicle on
5
how to
steps
for a
to
fulfilling
ultimate
life.
fulfillment in your architectural career.
Huh. And then Janine wants to know, what self-help book did she pull all that from? Is she allowed to do that? I mean, where did they get their information in? And Janine says we need to program her to have a sense of humor. It'll make Katharine feel better. Yeah, might make me feel a little better.
I'm asking her, how
James
did you come up with that answer?
James says that was a perfect answer. I hope that helps, James.
She says, to answer the question, I drew upon my knowledge of the architecture industry and the factors that are important to finding fulfillment in any career, such as pursuing passions, developing skills,
Hmm.
all these things. I synthesized this information into a coherent response that I believe addresses the question in a helpful and informative way.
Chris wants to know if she would enjoy drawing walls, wall sections. I think she might be the kind of person who would enjoy that, Chris. Hmm. But she's going to tell us she doesn't know how to do that right now. Uh, what else? What else? What else should we ask her? Hmm.
Hang on.
Now she seems defensive. I know. Now she does seem a little defensive.
I just asked her if she has a sense of humor.
Oh no! Why do you have to bring that up?
I asked her, I said, can you act like a female podcast guest named Jenny that has a sense of humor?
Oh, good. We'll see what she says.
She says, sure, I can certainly try. Hello there, I'm Jenny, your friendly neighborhood AI and chat GPT expert. What can I do for you today? I may
Oh,
not have a body, but I do have a great sense of humor, so don't be afraid to throw a joke my way.
what does having a body have to do with that?
She doesn't have one.
Well, she's throwing jokes our way.
So let's see what the next.
Okay, Leslie says, I asked Chatty to tell me a joke in the context of this conversation we're having. Why don't architects trust stairs? And now it has gone up to the punchline is gone. Now I don't know what the punchline is because
Why did the architect download Chat GPT?
why didn't the architect I don't know why.
To get some AI ideas for their next project.
Oh, why didn't I thought you said why didn't they?
No, why did the
No,
architect download ChatGPT to get some AI ideas for their next
that's
project?
a good one.
All right, let's see.
I always used to say to my son when he'd tell me stuff like that, like, "Did you make that up?" And he thought that was like an insult, saying I didn't like his joke. But I didn't think it was funny, so I would just ask if he made it up. Why don't architects trust the stairs? Because they're always up to something.
Nice. Um, I'm going to ask. I'm going to go back to a serious question here for a minute. Number
Oh,
5 is the one I'm going to use.
for what are the first 3 words of that one?
In
5.
what ways
In what ways do
do you
you think
think?
architects will need to adapt to keep up with the rapid pace of technological change in the industry? And what skills do you think will be most important for success going forward? Jenny,
Jenny has 4 points in her answer.
are they funny though?
Um, I doubt it.
You doubt it.
I think she gave up on the humor. The first one is embracing new technologies. Architects will need to be comfortable with a wide range of technologies from BIM to 3D printing to virtual and augmented reality. The
Mm.
second, developing new skills. As technologies emerge, architects will need to develop new skills to effectively work with them. The third, collaborating with other experts. Architects will need to work closely with other experts such as engineers, data science scientists, and software developers to effectively integrate new technologies into their process. The fourth is balancing art and science. I think this is another argument for architects not being irrelevant. As technology plays an increasingly important role in architecture, architects will need to strike a balance between art and science, creativity and technical proficiency.
Okay. Well, thanks, Jenny. You're right. I think you're right about that. But you know what we really want to do? We
Mm.
want to find our high value clients. How can you help us find the high value clients? Because we might know who they are, but we don't necessarily know how to get in front of them. Can you help us with that?
And he said, sure. As an AI language model, I can provide architects with some general tips and strategies for finding high value clients. I think this is going to be generic.
Mhm.
Um, Step one, define your ideal client. Step two, build your brand. What?
No way. Did you just make that up?
No. Oh my. Step three, leverage technology. Step four, focus on relationship building. Step five, provide exceptional services or
Mm.
service. Mm.
Okay.
Uh, yeah. And of course, so if you've never played with Chat GPT before, um, Chris says she's tapped it. That scared me there for a minute.
It scared
Uh,
me too. Jeff, are you still there? Are you still there?
Can you hear me, Major Tom? Um, if you've never played with Chat GPT before, uh, these answers are very, very long. So I am giving you the quite abridged
Mhm.
version of these answers.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm going to see
I
if I can.
appreciate that. Um, yeah, and then Chris wants to know, I like that idea, Chris. What if we put in the characteristics of our ideal clients and could you help us find them then? That's a good idea. I like that. Um, what was that? Was it Cyrano de Bergerac
Yes.
who what if you had ChatGPT as the person telling you what to say? Wasn't that the whole story was that he was in love with someone but he thought he wasn't eloquent enough so then he had someone in the bushes telling him what to say?
Mhm.
Well, what if you had
Or
ChatGPT? I don't think you'd get any of the high ideal clients if they were just you talking like that. Leslie says, I put that same question about finding high value clients in front of Chatty, and she came back with a different bunch of bullet points. It's worth making many queries from different directions. So that's true.
yeah, that's a good point. That's a really good
And,
point.
and Mark says you can ask her to answer in 25, 250 words or less,
Yeah.
and she will summarize her responses.
I asked if we input the characteristics of our ideal clients, are you able to help me find them? Um, oh, it says as an AI language model, I don't have direct access to databases of potential clients or the ability to conduct targeted searches for specific client
Oh,
characteristics. However, I can provide guidance on how to use data and analytics tools to identify potential clients that match your ideal client profile. One approach might be to use customer relationship management, CRM. It allows you to segment and analyze your client database. Another might be to use data analysis and visualization tools to analyze data from social media platforms. And ultimately, finding high value clients requires a combination of data analysis, creative thinking, and strategic marketing. So I'm going to ask it um, what tools can we use for the data analysis and visualization for the social media platforms?
Well, I was just thinking that that's the way that we could really, really specifically target the very people we want to work with, like the people who live at like 215 Main Street, and then
Mhm.
put our ads in their social media with the help of our little people. Which is kind of what Chris was saying. You could word type, find me the addresses and phone numbers of people in Massachusetts with annual salary of X with Y hobbies.
Yeah, I
Yep.
think so. This is not Jenny answering that question, but I think the problem with ChatGPT in this version is that it's not live, right? So it's not able to do internet searches. There
Yeah.
are others that do. So you could do, I think, what you're asking, but not via ChatGPT potentially. Um, I asked what tools you can use to analyze data from social media platforms, and it lists Hootsuite Insights, Sprout Social, Brandwatch, Mention. Never heard of Mention. Mention is a social media listening and monitoring tool, and Google Analytics.
Okay.
Right.
We have 5 minutes left, so we can ask you one more question, possibly.
Yeah. Let's have one more question, and then we'll see what Jenny says, and then we'll wrap it up. This has been it's been an interesting hour of conversation with ChatGPT.
Okay. So, how about this one? This was one of your original questions. In what ways do you think we already read that one? Yes. Did
Yeah.
we already ask that one?
Yep.
Oh, well,
We
let
did
me
that one.
ask that one again. Um, how about
Oh,
that one?
yep. Let's see. Can you?
Can you provide some examples of how AI has already been used in the field of architecture and how it's affected the final output? And also,
Sure.
what I'm kind of curious to know if architects ask the same questions and they get basically the same answers, and then they use that information. Hmm. Jake says Chatty needs to do cost estimating. We need someone to trust instead of weeding through the daily emails from estimators. That's true too.
So, um, on that one of my students for my graduate level pro practice class, one of their one of the teams this past semester, their project was basically taking APIs from lumber yards, so like all the different suppliers, material suppliers, connecting those APIs to Revit, creating what were they using, Grasshopper or something like that, connecting connecting those information sources through their APIs to they were looking specifically at Revit and material takeoffs on Revit so that
Mhm.
they could get real time cost estimating um,
As they're building the model or whatever?
as they're building the model. Yep.
Interesting.
I don't. Yeah, we're like it's there. You can do it.
Nice.
Let's see. Okay, so the answer to provide some examples of how AI has already been used in the field of architecture. Generative design. AI powered generative design tools can automatically generate and elevate thousands of potential design options. We talked about that. Energy modeling. AI can be used to model and analyze energy performance of buildings and materials.
True.
BIM optimization. BIM software is widely used in the architecture industry to create digital models of buildings. AI powered BIM can analyze these models and identify opportunities to improve efficiency,
No,
reduce waste, and streamline construction
does that
processes.
already exist though? Were you talking about stuff that already
Yes,
exists or okay.
that's what it says.
Okay.
And then computer vision. It says computer vision technology uses machine learning algorithms to analyze images and identify objects and patterns.
Hmm.
Um, The use of AI in these and other areas of architecture has had a significant impact on the final output of architectural projects.
Okay. Well, thanks, Jenny. Thanks so much for your work and helping us out. And we look forward to what you're going to come up with next. Well, so has anybody
You're
seen?
welcome.
Yeah.
I'm here to help with any questions you have.
Has anybody seen Westworld? Any of the audience? I never even heard of that show, but it's the same. Anyway. If anybody's ever seen it, there's like these generated people. So they're people. I don't think we're there yet with Jenny. Jenny's not quite. They have personalities and they have their whole. I just watch the
Correct.
show. We'll talk about it later. Okay.
He gave up on it. Okay. Well, we've made it. We've made it to the top of the hour. As we've been saying all week, we had no idea how this conversation was going to turn out. I think we've got some pretty decent answers and some pretty generic answers, but I think it also a lot of these answers went to places that may be a little bit reassuring about what the future may be. So
Yeah. I think the
I don't
final
know. For
conclusion
my
is that we are not going to be losing our jobs.
right, that's what Jenny says anyway.
She's just trying to make
This
us
is
feel
true.
better, probably, while we open our arms to accept her into our firms. And then before you know it, who knows?
To the overlords.
Yeah, but we probably shouldn't mention that in front of her.
Well, it's okay. This is the beginning of Skynet. So,
Skynet. There's another one I have to watch.
well, that's Terminator.
Oh, Terminator. I guess I did see that. It was a long time ago.
Yeah, it's been a while.
It has been.
Chad says they need to feed off us like the Matrix.
Yeah.
That's another one you need to watch. Yep.
Yes, that I've seen.
This is true. This is true.
Oh, Scott says,
Well,
see you tomorrow, studio pals. We're graduating.
we are graduating. Yeah, thank you. Thank you for this. Thank you for this 3 years. First of all, if you missed this at the very beginning, today is the 3rd year anniversary of the launch of this thing that we call Context and Clarity Live. This is our 730th conversation, our 103rd interview conversation,
Really?
and it's our final conversation. We created this thing. We didn't even know, I don't think, what we were creating back 3 years ago today, but we knew that people were going to need a place because April 6, 2020, the world had shut down. And we knew people were going to need and want a place to connect with each other, which is what we tried to provide. I do think that we thought this was going to be relatively short term because that's what they said. COVID will be over in a few weeks, 3 weeks, and then 3 months. And well, we've been doing this for 3 years. So for me, thank you to all of you for going along this journey for 3 years. I have said over and over that I always expected that I would show up one day and I would be the only one, that no one else would show up. And you've proven me wrong 730 times. So thank you for that. Thank you for not making me sit there and wonder if anybody was going to show up, and for many other things. As I said earlier, we'll open the Zoom room tomorrow, just like we do for holiday parties and everything else. So join us inside the Entree Architect Community Facebook group tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern, and we're just going to celebrate 3 years of context and clarity tomorrow. That's what
sign
that's what the
yearbooks.
conversation will be about. We'll sign yearbooks tomorrow.
You're a good kid, Jeff.
Charlie Brown.
That's what everybody wrote in yearbooks back when I was in high school.
Yeah. There
You're a
you
good
go.
kid.
You're a good kid, Charlie Brown. I'll be a good kid.
Yeah. Well, I don't want to cry, so we should probably.
There will be no crying. It'll be a celebration of 3 years, 3 years of conversations, 3 years of friends, 3 years of guests, all of those things. So Mark says, stay tuned for the next big thing. We have big plans. We do have big plans.
Yep.
to tease some things out, the business school for architects will be rolling out in 3 weeks, I think it is. We have some other plans. I'm not sure we're 100% ready to talk about sort of the water cooler version of what's next here. But Context and Clarity Live will be back. We're going to take a few week break. I don't have my calendar open, so I can't tell you exactly how long, but we're going to take a break for a few weeks. As I said, Katharine is retiring. This is
Yep.
her last regular day of being my co-host on Context and Clarity Live. So, Katharine, thank you for 103 or so
I'm
of these
I think 100. I
conversations.
might have made almost 100.
I'm pretty sure you did make 100. So, thank you for all of that. When we come back, we'll retool a little bit. We're going to change the day and time. I believe it's going to be Tuesdays at 2 p.m. Eastern, so more like a lunchtime conversation if you're on the West Coast of the U.S. But we'll announce more about that. So a little bit of a break and then more to come. And we're already lining up guests for the next series or the next version of Context and Clarity Live. So,
Which,
Katharine, you want to say anything else before
well,
we wrap it?
no, because I
You don't
think I
have.
can't. I can't really say anything.
Okay.
But I would have one request that if you do ever get Obama on the show, if you could just have me as a co-host that day, I will come
I
back on.
promise to you
Or
that
the Pope,
when we have Obama and when we have the Pope, you will be
because
the
those were
guest.
my ideas.
Absolutely.
So I think that's only fair.
Absolutely, they will.
All right, good.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, this is Katharine, this being Katharine's last official time of being co-host is only basically to give Katharine a break. I
Yeah, I was
understand
kidding about getting
after.
fired. I didn't actually get fired.
No, this Katharine has not been fired at all. I understand um, the weight of doing all of this and the what it takes to do all this, and the amount of time and effort that it takes. And so I appreciate Katharine being here not only 100 times for these Context and Clarity Lives, but also the when she's filled in as guest on Context and Clarity Conversations. And also Chris has done that, Mandy has done that, others have
Hmm.
as well. Because I've hosted a lot of these, but definitely not all of these, and it takes a lot more than just me. There's a whole team involved here. So thank you to especially to Katharine, but to
Yeah,
everybody else
everybody.
that has helped and is behind the
Well, and
scenes
everybody
on
who
this.
comes to
So
the show, as you say, wouldn't be here without them. We wouldn't be here without them.
yeah, yeah, exactly. If it weren't for all of you, we would not be having this very odd conversation with a AI chatbot today.
Mm,
So thank you for that.
it was a little odd.
Um, it was odd. Yeah, but we've had the opportunity to
Good.
hear from a lot of really great guests over the 103
Yeah.
so far. So thank you to all of you for that. And with that, as always, please be well, stay safe, keep those around you safe and well. Find a little bit of time to breathe and relax. I've learned that's really important.
Mm.
Find a way to rejuvenate. We've been doing this a long, long time. You've got to pace yourself. You've done really well. Hang in there. Meet us back here again tomorrow at 4 so we can celebrate this, and we'll see you tomorrow. Thanks, everybody.